person. And I can sit there and you can look at the video, and I do about 30 or 40 of these people right there in a row, just one after the other, and you can see them side by side. They look exactly alike. Each parts are certain shared parts. So you can tell when it's a computer-generated person.
You're starting to break up just again, just a little bit. Sure, during the break, you might want to check your connection, or we're not always going to assume the worst, that it's the quote unquote Illuminati trying to interfere with a broadcast.
Yeah, it's probably my connection. But yeah.
So go ahead.
But the calipers.
Oh, you're breaking up again.
The calipers or the compass, they're divergent images. How about now?
Okay, now you're good. Repeat what you just said earlier.
Okay, the calipers or the scale, I use that to find faces that are basically computer generated, because a lot of times the artist will make mistakes and the eyes will be slightly out of proportion or in the wrong place in the head. So you can use that to eliminate.
Oh, I've talked with this former intelligence officer recently, and he was telling me that he learned that apparently there are 30 facial characteristics that people have. So odds are that there is someone in the world that looks a lot like you, if not several people, because the number of facial features is limited.
Well, there's 39 landmarks on the face, and a landmark is a spot on the face that's not a soft tissue spot. And what I mean by soft tissue is if you get fat or you're skinny or have a disease, your skin and your face will change, but these landmarks won't. They'll stay in the same spot. So the facial recognition, yes, there are people that can look like you, similar to you, but nobody has the same ear as you. So there's two different types of scientific formulas that you use. The face is one, and then if you're fortunate enough to get a good shot of the ear, then that's what you use, the ear, because that's definitely more reliable than a face.
Which again, it goes back to what you're saying. You're saying, I'm not just saying, look, these people look alike. What I'm doing is I'm proving that these people are the same person using a scientific means. And because I have this symbol on my site, it doesn't mean that I'm a disinfo agent working for the Freemasonic order.
Yeah.
And even if you were a Freemason, I mean, what would that say? So what?
I mean, but the whole thing is, I ask people, they say, well, you're an agent. And I'm like, okay, well, explain to me how I'm supposed to be benefiting when I'm the one that turns down the book deals and turns down the video deals and not making any money from it. So tell me where I'm an agent, because I'm curious about that. So, like I said, they can call me what they want. I have thick skin, but, I'm not doing this to get famous or to, to be quiet about it. I'm actually putting my neck out there on the line and saying what I believe and showing what I believe.
Well, I have received a few people email me or commenting via other means that I should not bring you on. You're obviously a disinfo agent, and I'm crazy for bringing you on. I really don't bring on that many guests on this show, other than people I know fairly well. But I'll say this, that alone, just people telling me that, made me more curious, and because I know, speaking personally here, of other hosts that have gotten the same reaction when they've announced that they were going to have me on.
Yeah. The New York Times did a hit piece on me not too long ago, and they didn't call me or ask me any questions. They just did this piece, and I happened to find out about it the next day. And when I read it, it was a bunch of crap. But it was funny because they tried their hardest to make me look like a crazy person, and it backfired on them, because the crazier they made me look, the more people came to my website. And when they did that, they stayed there and they became subscribers, and they contacted me and were just amazed at what they found. So now the New York Times won't even talk to me. So.
Well, that's a crying shame if the New York Times won't talk to you. Considering that if you go back to a movie that came out, what was it? Back in the 70s, Robert Redford. It's the one where he plays the CIA book reader.
Oh.
I can't remember the name.
I see it in my head, but.
Yeah. He plays the CIA. It's this whole CIA mystery. And, they don't, look, movies aren't there to educate you about the world around you. So there's a lot of propaganda and disinfo in this movie. But the subtle things is where they basically point out the obvious to anybody who's awake enough or just in on the joke.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one scene at the end where he thinks they can't kill him now, or he's afraid they're going to kill him, but he goes, it's too late for you guys. And they're going, why? He goes, because I've turned in the entire file. And it shows him standing in front of the New York Times building. And the agent looking at him looks at him, and he just kind of like, it's not overt, it's very subtle. He just kind of like looks up at the New York Times building and just kind of smirks. It's like, don't you realize we own that too?
Yeah.
You're safe now.
Yeah. That's the other thing. You think about the WikiLeaks thing, and like they hand over all the information to New York Times first. I mean, come on. I mean, it's a joke.
Oh yeah, that WikiLeaks thing is just a huge joke. I can't believe there are people out there, especially in this alternative media, that were actually citing it as a source. This is on WikiLeaks. I'm like, okay, well, WikiLeaks comes out. They put out some decent info at first. You got to remember, everything's got to start off good. Otherwise, you're not going to gain any traction.
Absolutely. Sure.
And as soon as they establish themselves as some source and everybody plays them up like, the mainstream media comes out going, ooh, WikiLeaks is evil. We need more internet controls because of this, right?
Yeah.
Then what do? They start releasing all this pro-Israel propaganda.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Adrian, he's over there and he's saying that I have all these files, but I'm only going to release half of them because, I want you to absorb them, fully. So if you have files that you say can bring down a bank or bring down a system, bring down a country, do you really think that you release half of them and then sit back while, they're going to hunt you down and put a bullet in you because they're afraid you're going to release the second half?
Yeah.
You put it all out there and you say, I don't have any more. There you go.
I'm done.
I'm done. I'm out of there. So yeah, I mean, it's so funny. And then you see the WikiLeaks truck riding around during
that's what I was going to comment on. Yeah, what the fool?
That's Soros. The whole thing about WikiLeaks started. The URL was owned on a Soros server. And then all of a sudden, he switched it over to somebody else's server, but that's the way it started. So, I mean, to see that WikiLeaks thing, that's just a slap in our face, too. It's just funny.
That was it. I couldn't believe it. I thought somebody actually had photoshopped it. When I saw the pictures of the WikiLeaks truck from the Occupy New York or Occupy Wall Street, I'm like, are you kidding me?
That was my first thought, too, and I really had to go through it. And then I found the video of the truck, and I was like, okay, I can...
Yeah, because it's so blatant. It's like such a... they're basically like flinging their poo in your face and going like, you're stupid.
Yeah. Well, look at this last one. This last video I just did where it's Maurice Strong. I mean, and now Maurice Strong... it's totally Maurice Strong. There's no way you can say that's not. But if Maurice Strong is who Maurice Strong is supposed to be, I don't know. I'm looking. Wikipedia shows us a picture of Maurice Strong, and he matches the person who I've said is Maurice Strong, but we don't know if that person is who they say. But anyway, this person says that they were a passenger on the flight during the underwear bomber now, and I'm like, and it's Maurice Strong. So I mean, they do They just slap us in our face, and, they're just seeing if we're paying attention.
I think so. I definitely want to get to that as the show progresses. Well, I'll say this: you must be doing something right. That's why you're on my show today. If you're upsetting this many people, if you got so many people calling you a disinfo agent, then you must be doing something right. And that's where I went ahead and brought you onto the show, because it seems to me that the people that are agents or in this movement.
They get free rides.
This is not, I'm just saying I validate thee, but I'm saying the people that are, nobody talks about.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. I mean, I think I'm hitting them pretty hard, a lot of these people, and they're trying to send me all these friends requests, and I just happen to catch a couple of them that were these people that I've been talking about, and happen to be sending me some requests on YouTube today, and I made a little video about it to show people. But yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be doing that for no reason.
I'll say this: one of the things that convinced me that I was also safe and bring you on is the hit piece from Anonymous against you.
Oh yeah, well, I think that was just somebody playing a joke, because it doesn't even fit the format of what the other Anonymouses are, or the same voice. So I don't know. I just Anonymous. Just to is crap anyway. I mean,
I think it's another pro Mossad or pro ADL front. That's from what I see. From if you pay attention to what they put out, again, it seems to favor certain agendas, and of course, they always start off like we're doing something good, and now what do you see? All these damn protesters out there wearing V for Vendetta masks. Like, really? Yeah. Wow, you guys really are awake. You're really awake. You're emulating some Hollywood piece of crap film.
Yeah. Hey, try starting up a website where you're selling some knockoff Gucci bags and see how long that site stays up there. Before they pull it. But you can put a website up there about talking about taking down the government, and it's going to stay up there. Sure.
That's right. And it's amazing. Somebody showed me that a lot of these sites that are run by these anonymous also feature, again, speculative pornography or videos featuring, underage persons, right?
Really? I didn't even. I've only been to that one, the anonymous site. I guess I thought it was the main site, but I didn't see anything on there. But I'm sure they have plenty of since they're anonymous, anybody can be anonymous.
Yeah. So apparently, that's what they're into, taking down the government and showing nude photos of underage women and ruining their lives by publishing their personal details on the internet. Totally works. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty credible.
And
then they attack me,
and it's amazing how such sites never get taken down.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's because they can't find them because they're anonymous.
Yeah.
As if there's any type of what am I? It's the word I'm looking for. It's a hungover. Anonymity. There we go. Anonymous. Anonymity. There we go. Why was that so hard?
People need to understand that on the web. Yeah, there's none of that.
On the internet.
None of that. If you don't want it to be on anybody else's machine or known to anybody else, don't put it on a computer. Period.
Yeah. Don't hook up to the internet. They'll know who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, I've done a lot of studies on that when I was in the military, and the characteristics that they can pull that are free from your you're being logged onto a website, and that's just being cookies and things like that they can sniff out, and they can put together a profile. And the main thing that they look at are the fonts, because when you get a new machine, what's the first thing you do? You put all your applications on it that you use, and you usually use different applications than another person does. So those characteristics of the fonts that are loaded up with those applications, they can build a profile of you, and they can narrow it down between it's like a 92% positive of identifying you from the free stuff or the stuff that's readily available from you surfing.
Or with the applications you normally load. Yeah, I could see I probably have a very distinct internet footprint.
Yeah, yep.
All right, we'll be right back, and I've got some tough questions for you, Ed, on the other side, so be ready. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to the Rebel Path. Welcome. I am the Celtic Rebel. Today, my guest in the top secret bunker located somewhere between Belfast and Shanghai is Dallas Goldbug. And we're going to get into his work, some of the details behind it this hour, and the rest of the show. We've got ways to go. But first, I promised people I'd have to put Ed's feet to the fire. Are you ready, Ed?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second here. They tell me that you have been accused of working for Dick Cheney at Halliburton.
That is correct. That was my first corporate job when I was 24 years old. I worked for Landmark Graphics, which is at that time was a subsidiary of Halliburton, but now it's fully owned and they just absorbed them. But I used to do I was a web creative manager. I redesigned the website for them and designed Halliburton's website. And I worked for corporate communications for about a year.
So you admit you're a member of the Illuminati?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I got kicked out after a year.
Somebody had pointed that out to me, that you worked for Halliburton, and I'm like, yeah, so what? I mean, look,
yeah.
If you're going to get a job, especially as a young person in America after you get out of school, you're going to work for the Illuminati. You don't have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, and at that time, how about this one? When I was, let's say, 14, I worked for Burger King, so I guess I'm, a Monsanto's lover too. So, hey. But, I worked for Halliburton. At that time, I really didn't know too much about Halliburton. That was when I first moved to Houston. And, I worked for them for about a year, and then I got headhunted into Ashford.com. But it was good. It was good. It was a good place to work.
I've actually had. I remember a long time ago when I was doing this, when I first started my radio. Yeah, there was a lot of info circulating about whether I was one of the Illuminati, because I had worked for one of the Rothschild companies, which I obviously I can't name on the air. Now, the reason I can't name it on the air is because I was working as a consultant. So I signed confidentiality agreements with all these companies I worked for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this: if I was to go over my list of companies that I worked for, yeah, they're all evil, but they're